Which is the best fitness tracker of the year? Here are two of the hottest deals that you can grab for around $50, the mighty Xiaomi Smart Band 7 or the slightly newer Amazfit Band 7. We're gonna test their strong and weak sides in order to find out which is the better one. Let's inspect. Hi! Welcome, really nice to meet you. Michael is my name. On the channel we inspect a lot of cool and fresh tech, and I believe through these thorough reviews we can find out whether certain devices are better than others, and it's obviously a worthy choice. In this situation we want to find out which of these two has the edge. That's the Xiaomi Smart Band 7 and the recently released Amazfit Band 7. Obviously recording this now in 2022 means that there are really a lot of good fitness trackers, and both of these happen to be part of the big Xiaomi ecosystem. And in this video we're gonna have a bunch of rounds in order to find out which of these two is the better choice. Let's begin with the design and the build quality, and as a starter, both of them are plastic made. Obviously the shape is slightly different. Both displays have tempered glass on top, meaning that they wouldn't easily scratch, but since nothing is scratch-proof, I would say thinking of adding a screen protector is not a bad idea. Xiaomi Smart Band 7 is this year bigger, but remains rather slim and stylish, rounded edges, its most typical characteristics, waterproof and built in a way that the strap acts as a protective case. You can well notice that the Amazfit Band 7 looks more like a smartwatch in that regard, bigger display with arguably better visibility. We can see the two major design streams, rounded screen versus square-shaped one. No physical buttons with both of these, however Amazfit made their tracker to look like a smartwatch. In terms of size, it still stays kind of in the middle between the regular Mi Band and the newer Xiaomi Smart Band 7 Pro. Since materials are quite similar, so are the water-resistant ratings, the strap, the feeling around the wrist, this clearly is a tie. You could pick the one you visually like more. The next major focus area, that's a display. Wow, choosing a winner here is gonna be challenging too. Confirmed by the specs, Xiaomi Smart Band 7 display is now bigger as compared to the 6th generation, being 1.62 inches. However, the wider concept by Amazfit gives the opportunity to add a display that can visualize all the data in a much better way. Both displays are topping at 500 nits, about maximum brightness, and both of them are lacking ambient light sensor, meaning that you can only manually control the screen brightness increments, which is a little annoying and a drawback compared to the Garmin Vivo Smart, for instance. In terms of user experience, when it comes to smartwatches, the rule is fairly simple. The bigger the surface, the better the visibility and the easier the navigation. Especially when it comes to watch faces, those on Amazfit Band 7 look nicer and bigger and are a lot better visible when you look from a further distance. Also, the always-on implementation with Amazfit Band 7 is superior and almost as good as on a smartwatch. It's a win! The next major topic we would like to talk about is obviously the battery life, and here it's one of these subjective conversations that we might have, because the rule is simple. The more things you track and the more often your display is working, the less your battery is going to last. Luckily, both of these fitness trackers have fantastic battery endurance, which means that you would rarely have to recharge them. Magnetic pogo pin connectors, so unfortunately none of the trackers relies on wireless charging, but given the long-lasting battery with fitness trackers these days, it's gonna be once or twice per month that you will need to recharge. I usually enable all the auto-tracking features with bands to stress the battery when I'm testing them. Of course, results often vary. Whether you spend some time outdoors or not, or how many seconds the display timeout period is set to, do you track exercises, is it summer or winter, because this often defines the display brightness setting, the firmware optimizations, these are some of the important factors. Statistically, in the same conditions, Amazfit Band 7 was usually giving me 4 to 5 days more than Xiaomi Smart Band 7. Even with always-on display, Amazfit's tracker can last around 5 days, which is crazy good achievement for a smart band. Therefore, might be a close call, but that's a win for Amazfit Band 7. In this round, let's take a look at the features and the so-called apps that we can rely on. It's 2022, so fitness trackers this year are already quite capable, but given the fact that both come from essentially the same mother company, differences are quite minor, so let me show you about the menus and the features. Scrolling feels great on both. Amount of apps kind of varies. Now, the advantage you're going to get with Amazfit's tracker is clearly the integration with Amazon Alexa as a smart assistant. Note that having no speaker means that the communication with it is going to be rather limited, but still more than nothing. Also, the lack of capacitive button on both is kind of annoying. Either of the bands can automatically track workouts, continuous heart rate, sleep cycles, even if these are daytime naps. Menstrual cycles for the ladies are being tracked as well. For workouts, the amounts and the features are also comparable. Steps counting precision deserves praising because there barely are situations where the steps are being mistracked. Alarms, sleep cycles, SpO2 tracking, they've been always a problem-free section and very rich in information. No NFC, therefore no support for contactless payments. Bluetooth protocols and connectivity stability is about the same with both trackers. As for emojis and notifications, let me show you this example. The next thing we want to do is to find out which of the trackers has the better smartphone app, because the interaction with your smartphone is equally as important as the interaction with the fitness tracker itself. And furthermore, all your data is being preserved and analyzed in the smartphone app. In that regard, I need to underline that both trackers support all the data to be synchronized to the cloud, meaning that if you switch to a different smartphone, your data is going to be preserved. And believe it or not, I think this round is going to turn out to be an easy win for one of the trackers. Let's begin with Mi Band 7. It now is supposed to use Mi Fitness, a rather new smartphone app. It definitely feels the lighter one among both, has a huge amount of watch faces to offer and maybe slightly less customizations. Also, it supports sharing data with one of the popular fitness apps, Strava. Being already on the market for a few months, you will notice the possibility to add some extra apps to the tracker and integrate with the watch face, which is nice, however not that popular yet. It's a fact that there are ways to make the band use another app called Zepp Life, which is the former Mi Fit smartphone app. I know it sounds a little confusing. They're built on different technologies, and while I'm still quite a fan of the older Mi Fit feature set, looks like Xiaomi are rooting for the Mi Fitness app these days. Amazfit, on the other hand, is paired with the Zepp smartphone app, which is among my favorites about data grouping, feature availability and customization options. Important to underline that this is the same Zepp app that is being used with most other Amazfit smartwatches, so it clearly is top priority for the Zepp development team. Supports everything else that Mi Fit and Mi Fitness apps provide, but also adds additional customization features and even an additional App Store section, allowing you to enhance the functions of your tracker by installing some additional third-party apps. That's really cool! How about accessories? If you wonder what I'm talking about, this round is going to show you. There are multiple straps and protectors that you can buy online, or other crazy gadgets. If you need to give your device a fresher look and feel, get one of the hundreds of different models for Xiaomi Smart Band 7. It's one of the first things I would do with my fitness trackers anyway, because it's one wrong pull away from falling down of your wrist and potentially losing it. It's not as good as having a buckle, which is something finally implemented with the Xiaomi Smart Band 7 Pro, and I'll tell you about it in another episode. As for Amazfit Band 7, there are somewhat less options. You can also get yourself a screen protector. Generally, if we compare variety and quantities, it's a clear win for the latest Mi Bands. Before we wrap up, here's the last chance for any of these trackers to win: pricing, which is extremely competitive. Both of the bands are very accessible at prices between $40 and $60, depending on the store, country and promotion period you buy them at. Officially in Europe, Smart Band 7 costs now around €49, so does Amazfit Band 7. I guess this makes it clear enough why we have a parity in this round as well. In the end, whichever of these fitness trackers you decide to buy, I think that's going to be an excellent choice, because obviously there are differences, but they're not so significant. So if you prefer a rounded shape of the display and you feel more comfortable wearing something that you want to be called a Xiaomi, official Xiaomi device, and you want to use the official Xiaomi smartphone app, then Xiaomi Smart Band 7 should be your preference. In case you prefer to use Alexa, you want to count on better battery life, you want to use this really nice gorgeous display which almost looks like a smartwatch, then Amazfit Band 7 would be the choice. Or if budget is not a limitation and you don't really have to choose, then maybe you can take both of them, wear them for a while, then decide which is the one you want to keep for a bit longer time. And in case you have any questions or you want to share which is your favorite, then please comment down below. And that's everything about this comparison. I really hope it was useful, and as usual, it's been really fun to prepare all this information for you. And I'll be very happy to see you again in any of our next cool tech inspections. My name is Michael, wishes for a fantastic day, stay tuned for more. I guess I'll see you soon. Bye.